All right, it's on this post-game edition of Jets FM on the Ourlads Football Network. The Jets kick massive ass tonight in whipping the Lions 48-17 as the Sam Darnold era starts with a bazooka. I'll give you my thoughts on all the incredible action as Jets FM's post-game coverage on the OFN starts now. And it's pretty late. All right, it's Monday, September 10th, 2018. I'm Greg DePalma, and this is our first post-game show edition of Jets FM on the Ourlads Football Radio Network at ourlads.com. Jets FM is brought to you by ourlads.com with the best New York Jets depth charts in the industry. And storestreams.com. The StoreStreams music service offers a complete solution for restaurants, bars, hotels, and retailers of all sizes in need of background music for their business. StoreStreams.com music service plans start at just $20 a month. That's $20. And also Rennie Lang's weekly in-season routine for NewYorkJets.com with his 7 points game preview and his weekly Inside the Numbers story on Sundays. All right, so, wow. Was that not awesome? Jets win. I don't even know how, 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago? I pretty much lost my train of thought about a half hour ago after, I think, what was it? Probably after Crowell's 62-yard touchdown run. That made it 48-17. Now, look, we talked about this with the Lions situation with Jeremy Reisman. And this is, look, I love talking to these guys because it gives us the perspective that you need. And I'm talking about the perspective of every team in the NFL, what's going on, what's their pulse. That's why we do the training camp previews. We did the division previews, and Jeremy was the one for the NFC North. And he's with Pride of Detroit at SB Nation. And he was very, very honest about the fact that the Lions just weren't looking good. And that it was, if they were going to have a successful season, it was going to take them some time. They just did not look good in camp. They did not look good in the preseason. They've got a new coach, Patricia's there. So this is why I said the other day on one of the OFN Today shows on Thursday, Friday, when we were previewing games, that I was actually thinking when I took Houston as my money line pick, I actually said on the show, I was thinking of taking the Jets. But I avoided it. I don't want to get into, and it wasn't because, I'm a Jet fan. I mean, I took Michigan when they lost to Notre Dame, and I will do that once in a while if I really feel that I think my team's better, and I did. I still think Michigan's better than Notre Dame, but I don't want to be a sore loser. Notre Dame earned it. But with the Jets, I just figured, all right, but I won't go there. But anyway, it was justified. And also because, as we've talked about since the end of last season, when there were a lot of writers and analysts who didn't even believe the Jets would win a game in 2017, and we told you they were going to be better than people thought, and therefore, even as the season, even though they struggled in December, we kept a very positive way about things on the show. And in the offseason, we were very positive about everything the Jets were doing. Now, yes, the Khalil Mack situation was a downer, but we talked about it. We were pretty upset, like the fans, about why it would be nice to have accomplished that type of deal. And we saw Mack on the Sunday night, why it was important to get a guy like that. Just imagine Mack with this team. But I also said, look, you got to take. We took at it from the perspective of, okay, as always, glass half full, and maybe they know something more about this defense than we know. And the reason I kept stressing that over the past month or so was because of the fact that they bolstered that secondary, which was so important for Todd Bowles. That secondary, that's where he used to coach. That's what he likes to do. That's remember, I've stressed this a lot too regarding, I don't get why they won't go out and get themselves a pass rusher. I know they're not easy to find, even in the draft, but come on, you can't get a flyer in the 6th round, 7th round, rookie free agent. It's like they just don't even care. So I said, there's got to be a reason. And I think we're seeing the reason that Todd feels, look, if we can get a guy like Khalil Mack, we've got the salary cap space, let's swing a deal. But we're not going to give you 2 first-round draft picks. But we're not going to kill ourselves over that. 2 first-round draft picks and $200 million, whatever it is. We're just not going to go that far. And I'm good with that. And I also think, after what we saw from Sam Darnold, that we could be pretty happy that Mike Maccagnan and Bowles never got their way with Kirk Cousins. Look, Cousins played well on Sunday, but Cousins is what, 8 years older than Darnold, 9 years older, something like that? So why, and a lot more expensive. So that's the reason we didn't want Cousins, and we wanted to take the chance with the quarterback like Darnold. And so sometimes you got to get lucky that way. Even the moves you don't make end up working out for you. So, and look, the way the Jets look tonight, it's only one game, but the defense also looked like, hey, did we really need to give up 2 first-round draft picks and $180 million for Khalil Mack the way this defense is looking without him? So this is why, again, it's only one game, but we try to stay positive about that facet of the offseason, which was really the only negative part or potential negative part. And now after this game, forget it. Why talk about it anymore at this point? Maybe we'll talk about it again later on in the season if we have to, or at some other point, but not now. No reason. Everything is regarding this team right now. A tremendous performance tonight. And if we just start, first of all, with how it all went. Now, I thought Bates did a good job, but he had 2 bad calls. One bad call was the first pass of the game. To me, it makes no sense when you've got a rookie quarterback starting his first game on the road on Monday Night Football while you're trying to outsmart everybody with a trick play. And you're asking the quarterback to do something that he is inbred not to do, throw across the field. So you're telling the quarterback, and he's been preached this by numerous coaches, even though he's only, 21? Don't throw across the field. Don't crawl. And then look, it wasn't like his body was completely in one direction, and that's really how you get in trouble, really. But still, it's just it's psychologically and just it's just not a good way to start because you're taking a chance. Now, if it worked, it's a great play, it's tremendous, it's awesome. But still, based on that situation with that quarterback, I just didn't think it was very smart. And I think that if Bates gets interviewed, and I don't know if he will or not, he doesn't get interviewed very often. And if he does, I would bet you that he'd blame himself. You don't want to put your quarterback in that position. Okay, the second one was the 3rd and 1 at the Detroit 31 when it was 10-7 Jets. It was 10-7, I believe. I think it was 10-7. Or maybe, yeah, I think so. And Robbie Anderson, they hand off the ball to Robbie Anderson, that reverse, and he goes -10. Come on. I mean, that was bad. I mean, because you didn't even get a field goal out of that. I mean, seriously, you want to do that, you can do that on first down, maybe even 2nd and long or something. I don't know. But to do it on 3rd and 1 at the 30, reverses sometimes don't work. And when they don't work, you lose yardage. So why would you do that to take yourself out of field goal range? So those were the only bad. Matter of fact, those are probably 2 of the only bad plays. Now, sure, there were a couple things that happened during the game, especially the first drive of the second half, where the Jets just allowed Stafford, boom, 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 touchdown, and we were like, I'm sure all Jet Nation was like, here we go. This wasn't going to last very long, was it? But that was it. For the most part, everything else was fine. We'll start with the way things went early on. And to tell you the truth, it was Andre Roberts that really got it going with that 43-yard punt return to the Detroit 32 after they were down 7-0. And they were able to get the ball back. They got the punt return. And so that was big. Great block by Brooks. Took out like 3 players. And then on 3rd and 7 from the 14, Darnold scrambles, finds Enunwa. Great catch. Went to the replay. I think it could have went either way. I thought the call could have went either way. At the 7-yard line, they gave it to the Jets. And then it was what? Next play, touchdown run, I believe? Yeah, Crowell. Next play, touchdown run. And by the way, excellent blocks on the run by Shell and Sterling. Excellent blocks, Shell and Sterling. So that worked out. And by the way, on the 3rd and 7 pass for the first down, very good block by Carpenter on the blitz by the what is it, linebacker or safety blitz. Very good block. Bought Darnold time for him to scramble out, make the play. And by the way, what a great job by the maligned offensive line. Okay? Now, one game, but this is why I said that this is not as bad an offensive line as we were being told based on the preseason. Okay? It's not. Now, I'm also not going to make it out to be, as I said before, even. It's not one of the top offensive lines in football. But they sure played like it tonight. But they proved that if they're healthy, again, they have to stay healthy. If they have any injuries, there's going to be some big issues. I believe there will be. Maybe they could deal with one injury, but they have multiple injuries along that line. They're in big trouble. And I really don't think they can afford many injuries at all, period, even one. But they did a very good job all night, just like the receivers. Remember, we talked about this the other day. Oh, according to the national media, the Jets have. Matter of fact, I even mentioned it was one of the writers. It was one of the I forget where. It might have been the Post. One of the writers. Oh, Jets. They got to go and get they need more running backs, more receivers, more this, more that. And what did we say? No, they don't need more running backs. Does it look like we need a running back with Crowell and Powell? No. They said we need tight ends. Did it look like we needed any tight ends? And who was making most of the plays and was out there a lot was Sterling and Tomlinson. Tomlinson to block, Sterling to catch, which is what we talked about. You know, we kind of figured that would be the case, and it was. Does it look like we needed a tight end? No. We got two young ones right behind them. And on the receivers, I mean, Pryor and Nunwa, Robbie Anderson, and Curse. Oh, we need receivers. We don't need receivers. Sure, we could use a number one, like a true star, but every team can use a star. Do the Patriots have a number one? No, they don't. You're going to tell me Edelman's a number one? Chris Hogan? And I don't think anybody's not picking the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl again. So this is just just like last year, it's a better team. It's more talented than the national media will lead you to believe. And let me tell you something, too. If you watch ESPN and you turn on Mike Greenberg tomorrow, I don't care what he says. I ain't even watching because he's a glass half empty guy. And he's the type of Jet guy fan that you don't want to listen to. Okay, I've said it before. Don't listen to him. Don't put him on. Just don't even deal with him. Okay, because he will probably say something stupid and jinx the team. So please, you can find your coverage elsewhere on ESPN. All right, so they get the touchdown. They tied the game. Claiborne then picks off. How many interceptions did they have? Claiborne picked off Stafford. Let's see. Where are the interceptions? Here they are. They had 5 interceptions. 5. And that was Claiborne's first. That was at the 49. That set up the field goal 10-7. Then Johnson had the second interception. Then he fumbled. I mean, it was really weird that he didn't see the dude that popped him. And it was one of those situations where I don't know how you were feeling, but I was like, typical Jet play, the way things have gone for us lately. We sign a guy for whatever, $80 million. He makes an interception, and then he gets jarred, and the ball pops loose, and they get the ball back, and I'm sure they're going to score a touchdown on this drive, right? And I'm sure Johnson will be out for the year with some sort of major injury. But luckily, Johnson came back because this was our night. This is not before. This is our night. So Johnson comes back, and we hold him. And you know why? Because of Mr. Luvu. We talked about the practice squad the other day. We went over that on the other show about which players that we believe will be on the roster at some point this season, and it happened a lot faster than we thought, and Luvu was out there. He's just way too talented to not be out there. Now, look, he did get knocked around by one of the receivers. I think it was Marvin Jones on a run play that he didn't look very good on. But he made the big play of the game for him, the 7-yard run tackle, the -7 run tackle right after the interception fumble by Johnson, forced Detroit into a 56-yard field goal a couple plays later. They missed that. Jets get good field position, but unfortunately the bad call, the Robbie Anderson, kind of screws that up. But it's at that point, it's still 10-7. Then another thing we have to, a shout out, because it was almost like the perfect game, was the fact that Lachlan Edwards, who really improved last year, we really didn't talk much about him in the off season or the camp or anything like that. Why? Because there's no reason to. Because this is his job. He did a really good. He was very good last year, and if he can just improve even more, he's going to be around here for a long time. And what he does best is pin inside the 20. He did it twice in his 3 punts. And he did it there, and then one of the passes, I believe, on during that drive, Jamal Adams made that really good PD, and boy, did he have his best game as a pro. This was something we talked about. He has to now step up and be a monster, because that's the reason they went after him when they picked him, and he is going to do everything. With all these additional toys that Bowles has now in the secondary, Adams has got to be the ringleader, and he was tonight. He was fantastic. Then 3rd and 2 from the Detroit 42. Jets have the ball after that, and again, thanks to the punt by Edwards. Great protection again on Darnold, so he's got enough time to zing the ball down the field, 41 yards to Anderson. Great catch by Anderson. And look, this is going to be Robbie Anderson. I'm telling you, 1 catch, 41 yards, touchdown. It's Alvin Harper. That's what and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Robbie Anderson is not going to be Quincy Enunwa. He's going to be, and remember we talked about this the other day. I said, who do I think by the end of the season will be the top 2 receivers? Now, Kirsten played tonight. Enunwa and Pryor. And who led the Jets in receiving today? Enunwa and Pryor. And by the way, who led the Jets in tight ends in receiving? Sterling. Do I know my team or what? So, anyway, they get the touchdown there, 17-7. But then Detroit comes down the field, and this was one of the 2 times where the Jets defense didn't do all that well. I think this was part of it, right? If I'm reading my notes right. No, actually, they didn't really get busted too much here, because this was the drive after it was 17-7 when, well, first of all, Roberts missed that tackle that led to additional 15 yards for Detroit. That was one of the poor plays of the game. But you know what? When you're talking about a Darryl Roberts missed tackle on a 15-yard catch and run as one of the bad plays of the game, you know things are going pretty well. It was a terrible call against Nickerson. That was a lousy call, that 15-yard penalty. That was terrible. But then he nearly makes that great catch in the back of the end zone when Stafford chucks it back there. Good pressure by Copeland. So even he made a play. And they set up for the field goal 17-10 half. But great attempt for the interception in the end zone by Nickerson. That kid's going to be really good for us, because we talked about that when we drafted him. The kid's fast, and he's got great hands, and he showed it there. So he'll catch those soon enough. All right, so that was half, 17-10, and then Detroit marches down the field at 17-17. It was boom, 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 boom. Middleton whiffs. I don't know, somebody blown coverage, don't know who, but Middleton whiffs, leads to a touchdown. That was one of the other bad plays. Middleton and Roberts had some missed tackles out there. 17-7, and immediately we're going, yeah, this is about right. I mean, Matthew Stafford's on the field. It was 17-7. We had our 10-point lead. We had our moment, and then it's going to go away. But what a response. Jets go, this is the new Jets as far as the new era, Sam Darnold era. Darnold leads him down the field A couple nice passes. The Enunwa pass, he makes a great play, physical play to get in the end zone, 24-17. And right there, you had to have a feeling that this was different. This was going to be different. And then, a minute later maybe, Darren freaking Lee. Pick six, 31-17. Great quarterback pressure by our sleeper, Henry Anderson. What a great game by Henry Anderson. We mentioned how what a big under-the-radar pickup he was, and all he has to do is stay healthy. We talked about that last Friday with Randy. He stays healthy, he is going to be a big part of this defense, and he's healthy right now. 31-17, but great hands by Darren Lee. Great athleticism. We have waited for that from Darren Lee. They go up 14. Another pick for the Jets. Then Henry Anderson. I was a little bit disappointed he didn't strip Stafford on that. It looked like, come on, how do you not strip him on there? But even better, almost, because Stafford played after that. But a little Malachi crunch with Leonard Williams. Stafford goes down, and Castle comes in. And, of course, it was an incompletion because he shouldn't even be in the league. He should be retired. And then Roberts, 78-yard punt return touchdown. Jets 38-17. And you know what I'm going to say next? How about the special teams? How about the ridiculousness of the media wanting to fire Brant Boyer already? What did we say on Friday? It's the preseason. So if something like this happens in the regular season, fine. But Brant Boyer has better players than he's ever had on special teams before. This is the best special teams talent that he's had. And if it doesn't work, then it's his fault. Best special teams day the Jets have had in I don't know how long. Years. That's how great it was. And Roberts just made himself a member of the Jets for the rest of the year with that return. And, again, Jets go up 38-17. Then Darren Lee does it again. Darren freaking Lee intercepts Stafford again to the Detroit 20. I believe that led to a field goal. And then Crowell's 62-yard touchdown run. Oh, wow. Crowell and Powell combined for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns, both from Crowell. And Powell, the only reason that Powell didn't run the ball a little bit more and get more snaps is because it looked like, I don't know, maybe he popped a, whatchamacallit in his eye, and it looked like they just kept him out for a few series. And so, but anyway, it wasn't like, they only rushed the ball 22 times combined with the two of them, but you know what? I think that's what you're going to see. I think that's exactly the kind of distribution you're going to see from both of them. Powell 12, Crowell 10. And even in the receiving game, you had Powell? Well, Powell only had, I think, 1 catch. But in general, Powell did his usual great job in pass protection. But that is why the Jets have running backs. Okay? They have running backs. They have receivers. Darnold, 16-21, 198, 2 touchdowns, and the pick to start the game. And as far as the defense, we talked about the interceptions. Now, look, they didn't get any sacks, but I don't think it matters. Okay, just like Todd has said, Coach Bowles has said, as long as we get pressure matters, and the Jets got enough pressure. Now, they didn't have enough pressure early. Okay, when it was 17-17, there was that point where it was, especially on that drive to begin the second half, it was that point where you got to be thinking, well, look, here we go again. We don't have enough pressure on Stafford. If we're not going to have pressure on Stafford, the guys are good. They can't cover forever. But then that's when the pressure started to happen. Anderson especially was the main force on the defensive line. And then Darren Lee made some big interceptions for the linebacking core. Again, Luvu makes a play. Williamson made a few pressure plays. Copeland made some pressure plays. Jenkins played well. Adams was phenomenal. Screen made a few plays. Claiborne made an interception. They just were absolutely fantastic. Myers made both of his field goals. Again, Edwards did his job. It was a 31-point third quarter. It was the best quarter that Jet fans have had in a long, long time. I don't remember feeling like this about the Jets. You have to go back, and I'm serious about any one game. You have to go back to the Jets' playoff win that got them to their second AFC Championship game. The last time I felt this good about a Jet win. Because if you listen to me during the Ryan Fitzpatrick near playoff run, that I was not a happy camper all season. And I didn't care about the wins. I felt it was a waste of time, and it was a waste of time. And so none of those wins I got up for. None of them. But so we have to go, so we are going back. Okay? And for the analysts, some of the analysts, Sam Darnold shouldn't start. I hear some of that. Yeah, they should let McCown start. It's too early for Darnold. I mean, seriously, when you are paid to watch, and paying full attention to 32 NFL teams, and it's all you're paid attention to do, how you could not understand that Darnold was ready to start. And the way he played tonight, it wasn't like Darnold went out there like Dan Marino tonight. It's just that he played the way that we all expected him to play. Was he perfect? No. Did he make good plays that impressed you as a rookie, first start road? Absolutely. Did we expect it? Yes. I mean, they did not win because of Sam Darnold tonight. But Sam was a big part of it. And he didn't lose the game for us either, even after the pick six that started it, which some people will blame him. I will blame Bates just as much, if not more. So even though it just showed you that this team, talent-wise in general, is just so much better than people think. And now, does this mean the Jets are going to be in the playoffs? No, not after one game. But, my high water mark of 8 wins is feeling pretty good right now. I feel really good about a 500 team that will fight for the playoffs in December. That was the prediction. And I feel very good that is going to be the case. I don't think there's any doubt now, barring major injuries on this team, that they are going to be fighting tooth and nail for a playoff spot till the very end. And if you can get lucky, if other teams, maybe they have injuries, ball bounces your way here or there in a couple of close games, things of that nature. Because of our schedule being a little bit lighter than other teams, maybe that helps. But it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I mean, you've got that North with the Bengals. I mean, I like the Bengals this year. You got the Bengals, you got the Ravens, you got the Steelers. You've got the Jags and Houston in the South. You've got the Chargers and the Chiefs and even Denver in the West. It is not going to be easy this year, as it has been, I think, the last couple of years to make the AFC 6-spot wild card. So you are going to be you're going to have to earn it this season, more than likely. All right, so that is going to wrap up the post-game show, the first one here on Jets FM on the Ourlads Football Radio Network. Boy, Jan Levine missed this one. So he better not jinx us. But he'll be back on Sunday. So Jan will be with me on Sunday for the Jet postgame show right about probably 4:30, 5 o'clock. We'll let you know more about that on Friday's show with Randy Lang. So that's the next Jets FM show. Again, that's going to be on Friday. Randy Lang, of course, and his weekly in-season routine for NewYorkJets.com and his 7 points game preview and his Inside the Numbers story will be with me. Every Friday, at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So, again, that's the next Jets FM. Then our post-game show is Sunday at, again, probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock with Jan Levine. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at PrimeSN. That's where we can let you know when all of these shows are available on demand. Thanks for tuning in to Jets FM's post-game show on the OFN. We'll see you Friday for more Jets talk. Enjoy it, Jet fans. It's the beginning of the Sam Darnold era, and it couldn't have gotten off to a better start. I'm Greg DePalma. You know the drill. Alpha, Mike, Foxtrot.